During my storyline research, I looked at films such as The Lovely Bones, Hide and Seek, The Sixth Sense, and The Butterfly Effect. I decided to look at storylines of these films as they are all psychological thrillers, which is the direction that I would like to take my film in. I chose these films in particular as I believe they all have very different and original storylines, which helped to give me inspiration for the storyline of my thriller film. Upon researching The Butterfly Effect, the use of blackouts and flashbacks really inspired me, as throughout the film, the audience are as clueless to what's happening as the main character. Therefore, it enables the audience to go on a journey with the main character through his flashbacks, as they are trying to figure out what's going on at the same time as the main character, Evan. I also thought that using the flashbacks was a good way of showing what happened in the past in little snippets, so the audience could try to piece together what's going on and without giving away too much at one point. Another thing that really inspired me about this film was the fact that throughout the film there is a lot of psychologically disturbing things that happen. For example, the fact that one of Evan's friends burns his dog alive and his other friend was molested by her father. I found that when I watched and researched this film, these psychologically deranged scenes stood out the most for me and really added to the psychological thrill of the film by making me, as the audience, feel extremely uncomfortable. I would really like to create a similar effect in the storyline of my film to really fit with the thriller genre. When researching the storyline of The Lovely Bones, I found that the fact that throughout the film the main character, Susie, is trying to work out how she was murdered and how to tell her family was a really interesting storyline. This is due to the fact that it was very original, and while the film is playing, the audience is trying to figure out how she died. I also think that the fact that it is an older man that kills Susie, who is a younger girl, is very psychologically disturbing, which adds to the overall thrill of the film. I got inspiration from this film as I liked the way that the main storyline was from a dead person's point of view, as she tries to work out how she died, and the fact that the audience goes on the same journey as them, so as she's working out how she died, so is the audience. Upon researching into the storyline of Hide and Seek, I found that throughout the film, David tries to gather information about his daughter's, Emily's, imaginary friend. It is then revealed at the end of the film that the imaginary friend Charlie was the dad all along, as he had multiple personality disorder. What really inspired me about this film was the plot twist at the end of the film. I really like the way that, for the most of the film, the audience is led to believe one thing and then they don't expect the twist at the end, which makes the film more dramatic and thrilling. In Hide and Seek, the fact that the audience are unaware of what's going on helps to create more suspense, which is something I hope to replicate in my film by adding a plot twist at the end of the film. Another thing that I liked about Hide and Seek was that you never actually saw Charlie, so the audience, as well as David, didn't know who the imaginary friend was, so were more interested to find out, therefore on the edge of their seat. Whilst researching The Sixth Sense, I was inspired by the way that the main character Cole is frightened by visitations from those with unresolved problems who appear in the shadows. What I really liked about this was that Cole is a child, which makes the film more thrilling in general, as they are normally perceived as weak and vulnerable, so the fact that the dead are visiting him makes that extra bit creepy. Another part about this storyline that inspired me is the fact that it is about dead people who have unresolved problems. If I were to add something similar to my storyline, then I would be able to create more suspense and make the film more thrilling, as the audience would be trying to figure out what the dead people wanted.